Jean Michel Coulon was a unique painter. This video is the third in a series about what sets him apart from the painters of his generation and what he contributed to 20th century abstract art. The first video focused on the verticality within his entire body of work, and the second on the innovative nature of his collages. After the war, on the ruins of devastated Europe, an international community of supportive painters was inventing a new abstract vocabulary. This movement would be recognized many years later as the Second School of Paris. Jean Michel Coulon was one of them. At the same time in the United States, the desire for a strong America took shape with unprecedented support to various artists who were expected to embody the image of a new global power. Is this how the trend of gigantism in painting was born? The visual effect must be striking, even exhilarating. The aura of American paintings, supported by international enthusiasm, quickly reached France. Many Parisian painters, such as Buffet, Chu Te-chun, Debray, Soulage, and Zhao Wuqi, followed suit in embracing grandeur and excess. They were well received. Jean Michel Coulon would not be one of them. Even though he worked on some large formats, notably for the Salon des Réalités Nouvelles starting in 1948, these remained exceptions. Jean Michel Coulon preferred an intimate, almost carnal relationship with his painting. In the 1960s, while the very large formats of abstract painters, especially lyrical ones, were becoming dominant, Jean Michel Coulon stood out with canvases of a manageable size. This approach favored the physical and emotional connection that the collector would experience with the painting. As his artistic exploration progressed, Jean Michel Coulon's canvases became even smaller. He adhered to his principles, indifferent to gigantism. He was now going against the artistic trend that had spread throughout Europe at the end of the 20th century. One might think that Jean Michel Coulon's art would simplify with a reduced canvas surface. But this is not the case. The structure is highly intricate, reconsidered, revised, constructed, with alternating gloss and matte finishes. The colors overlap, layer, and converse with each other. In the 1990s, Jean Michel Coulon's pictorial research was fully realized. A true work of craftsmanship in the attention to detail. Did he then recall his lessons on Vermeer's precision in 1950 in Amsterdam with Professor Van Tienen? If the monumental works assert their presence in our space, making an impact from across the room, these smaller ones pull our eyes first into their space, inviting us to a focused gaze. Miniature art plays with scales and encourages us to pay closer attention to the details around us. Monumentality is not a matter of dimensions. Jean Michel Coulon's panels are gigantic in their construction. As Robert Motherwell said, "It's possible to paint a monumental picture that's only 10 inches wide, if one has a sense of scale, which is very different from a sense of size." The interest in intimate formats seems to be emerging in the United States, in Chicago in 2008, and in Los Angeles in 2022, where the Norton Simon Museum is considered one of the most important museums on the West Coast. Its curator, Emily Talbot, chose to exhibit small formats by major 20th century artists. In France in 2023 at the Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art in Saint-Étienne, not paintings but very small tapestries are exhibited. They are the work of the American artist Sheila Hicks and are part of a large exhibition dedicated to women, the House of Dust. In 2023 and 2024, the Museum of Modern Art in Paris and the Tate Modern in London are dedicating major retrospectives, one to Nicolas de Staël and the other to Philip Guston, each with walls dedicated to the painter's small formats. Note how different the hanging styles are. In the same spirit, two internationally renowned galleries, Lelong and Gagosian, have focused on the intimate formats of Ethel Adnan in Paris in 2020 and Stanley Whitney in New York in 2024. Other galleries have already started to follow this trend. Another way to draw the art lover's attention to an intimate format painting is to direct their gaze toward the center of a large, empty space devoid of any other displays. The observer will be intrigued, will approach, and, free from any other stimuli, will give the artwork their full personal attention. His determination led Jean Michel Coulon to legitimately become the initiator and global reference for miniature abstract oil painting. His 10.5 x 9 centimeters constructions are precise, balanced, harmonious, and immense in their strength. They surprise and fascinate all who observe them. Could Jean Michel Coulon's meticulous craftsmanship be linked to his marked taste for illuminations and miniatures? His artistic library contains numerous books on the subject, showing that his research took him to the remote regions of Europe.